Human trafficking is happening right here in Baltimore. Joining us today is Morgan Weibel, Supervising Immigration Attorney of Tahirih Justice Center. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
This is a really important topic that we're hearing more and more about locally. And normally when you hear about human trafficking, you think foreigners, and that's typically what you deal with. But we're also seeing Americans more and more.
Yep, absolutely. Human trafficking victims come from all different walks of life, from all different countries, and actually traffickers aren't targeting one specific population.
Okay. What kind of statistics are you working with when it comes to a rise in calls here in Maryland?
So the Tahirih Justice Center doesn't take calls in our center, but the Polaris Project runs a national hotline. Over 2012, they saw about 400 calls with tips from Maryland on human trafficking. In the first 6 months of 2013 alone, they saw a spike and 300 calls came in from Maryland. So we can certainly see that more people are coming forward with tips on cases like this.
Okay. Why do you think Baltimore is such an attractive location for it?
There's a couple factors that make Baltimore a very attractive location for human trafficking. One is just our physical location on the eastern seaboard. We have a very large port, so it's easy for boats to come in and move people. We've also got an airport with a lot of low-cost air carriers, so it's easy to transport victims in and out. Also, its proximity to other states allows savvy traffickers to move quickly across borders, intentionally trying to avoid local law enforcement.
Okay, and tell us what your role is legally in all of this.
So I'm a staff attorney at the Tahirih Justice Center, and we work to protect foreign-born victims of human trafficking and assist them in accessing the rights that they're afforded under U.S. law. So we essentially get them legal status here and then try to stabilize them.
And I would imagine a lot of cases go unnoticed. How does that happen?
Absolutely. Well, human trafficking is often done in the shadows. It's individuals who are held in homes or places outside of the limelight, and so really it's up to individuals like you and me to look for the signs and then tip off law enforcement and call the national hotline to assist victims. What
are some of the signs that we should all, just as citizens, be looking for?
Human trafficking is all about power and control, and so what you want to look for is for victims that appear maybe particularly submissive, that don't have access to services, seem isolated, don't have access over their own identity documents. You know, we had a case where an individual went with her trafficker to the dentist's office, and the receptionist noticed that she was acting particularly submissive, and so she handed her a phone number and said, call if you need this, if you need help. So it's up to us to look for those kind of flags of individuals that something appears just slightly off with them.
Why was this an important issue for you in particular to get involved in?
Human trafficking, I think, is one of the worst human rights violations that we see today. I think every human being has a right to live free and with dignity, and human trafficking basically denies individuals that.
Yeah, it is just a terrible problem, and I'm glad you're helping bring to light the fact that we really here in Baltimore are looking at it more and more as a problem. Tell us more just about the types of resources that you provide. If someone's wrapped up in this and just can't find their way out and they call you, what are you going to do?
Right. So, you know, we recognize that legal status is only one step in kind of stabilizing a victim. So we assist them in trying to obtain legal status here in the U.S., but beyond that, we also have social services associates that are on board, on staff, and can help connect them with resources in the community, whether that be a shelter, a food bank, help enrolling children in schools, assisting victims to obtain clothing, getting them ready for interviews, kind of everything you would need to get back on your feet and reintegrate.
And it's interesting that you bring all of those things up because it is a really multi-tiered process to get out of this.
Yeah.
You don't only need legal help.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's so important that we work as a community and a coalition. So the Tahirih Justice Center sits on the Maryland Human Trafficking Task Force, which is an organization that's comprised of local law enforcement, state's attorney's offices, and also service providers. And so it allows us to kind of interface the network together in order to get victims all of the different services that they might need.
Excellent. An important service you provide. We really thank you for helping spread the word.
Thank you.
Okay. And stay with us. We will talk to the founder of Safe House of Hope straight ahead. You're watching 11 TV Hill.